Good evening, everyone. Again from the United Kingdom, to all my friends around the world. I'd like to do a post today, something I've never done before. This is about the limbo period before diagnosis, and I'm sure there's lots of people on this page that have not yet been diagnosed. You're having all these weird and wonderful, no, not wonderful, but you're having all these weird symptoms that you can't explain. You really don't know what's happening. And it takes time. It can take a lot of years for you to be officially diagnosed. When you get the first lot of symptoms, whether it be neuritis or you lose the use of your arm or your leg, or your walking goes funny, or whatever it would be, it can take a long time. Mine took from 1999 to 2005 to get the official diagnosis, which it must have been too long. I mean, my goodness me, I was having lots and lots of problems over that period of time, and I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was a hypochondriac. Every month or two there'd be a new symptom that would pop up, or because you don't know, you can't move forward, and nobody believes you. Everybody just thinks, this guy's crazy. He's got a headache one day, he can't hardly move the next day. The fatigue is terrible. He says he's tired, he's exhausted. He says he's exhausted all the time. How can he be? He's just lazy, or he's not eating properly, he's not sleeping properly. Right, okay, well, 1999, we'll go back to there. I was driving home from a gig. I'd been in Newcastle or somewhere singing, and my eyes just went, one sort of looked one way, and I think one was straight or the other way, and it was quite difficult for me to continue driving home. I managed it. I managed to get back. I was singing with somebody else at the time, but I think it was his turn to have a drink, so he couldn't drive anyway. But we got back, and then the next day or the following day, from there, I made an appointment with my doctors, told him what was happening. He then referred me to the hospital in my town of Doncaster, who I think I saw an optician first, not a neurologist. I saw an optician, and he gave me a sort of a patch, like a prism, because I wore glasses at the time, and he put a prism on to sort of reconnect so it brought them back into view, and it worked. And over a period of time, my eyes got better. But in the intervening period, I was asked to see a neurologist, Mr. Gibson, or Dr. Gibson at Doncaster Royal Infirmary, and I went to him, and he did an MRI scan. Now, little did I know that at this time he'd actually seen lesions on my brain and on my spinal cord. Why he never told me is completely beyond me. I believe it's something to do with diagnosis. They're not allowed to diagnose until you've had 2 episodes or 2 flares. They call it a clinically isolated incident or syndrome. Clinically isolated, it's easy to say, clinically isolated syndrome. So he couldn't give me an official diagnosis. Now, over the next, 6 years really, over the next 6 years, I had several bits happening to me. I just put it down to an illness, a bug, a virus, or I needed to rest more. I couldn't do as much. I was getting a little bit older, but bearing in mind I was 35 when I had the first symptoms, and 41, 2005. Yeah, no. I was I was 29 with the first symptoms and 35 when I was diagnosed. So anyway, I put it down to getting a little bit older and maybe doing too much when I was younger. So I got the official diagnosis, and it was like a massive weight had been really taken off me, because I thought, God, I'm not crazy. I'm not a hypochondriac. My words are shocking today. There is actually something wrong, and I do need to address this and cope with it the best way that I can. So the post is for all the people that haven't been diagnosed yet. Don't think that you're crazy, because you're not. If you've got MS, you're definitely not crazy. And for the people that are caring, or the people that your family, let them watch this as well, so they understand. If you say you're tired, or you say you just physically can't do something, they need to appreciate that if this is MS, they need empathy for that. They need to know that you are not making this up, and by trying to push on and do more and more and more, you're only going to make yourself worse. So that means you're going to be ill for longer. The flare that you're having, or the episode of the fatigue or the neuritis that you're having, is going to take longer because you're trying to push through it. And for me, and I believe a lot of people agree with this, the way to make sure that these episodes are shortened. Forget the medication. Are shortened is by completely resting and listening to your body. So that's that. Anyway, so if you've got questions, if you've not yet been diagnosed and you've got questions, or you're looking after somebody that you think may have MS, you know, put it on here, put them on, and let's all try and answer them. And I'd like to know what your experiences, your first episodes were, and how long it took for you to be diagnosed. Because 6 years, I think, is a long time, and I'm sure there's some of you that's been longer than 6 years. So great, if you can do that, thank you very much indeed, and we'll speak soon. So take care, everyone, and have a lovely evening. Thank you.